So you need to read and understand that you are not just leading a normal average people. You must be a person who love people.
Yeah.
You must be a person who's very much resilient in terms of understanding that there are seasons. The leadership itself, it tests your character.
Yeah.
But again, to make sure that you succeed with whatever character you have, you first need to align yourself and understand the vision of the organization you are leading.
Dumelang bagaetsho ko gae, and welcome back to Conversations with Madam President. And today we have Dr. Baloyi here with us. And before we just get to that, I just want to appreciate the support and thank you for always supporting us. We see you, we appreciate you, and we just wanted to say thank you. Dr. Baloyi, welcome to Conversations with Madam President.
No, thank you for warm welcome, Madam President.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to have you here today. We've been inviting you here, but finally you are here.
Yeah, finally I'm here.
Thank you so much, Chair. Please tell our viewers who are you? Where do you come from? Where did you grow up? We need that background. Please explain to the viewers before we get into the big things that you are doing out there.
All right. I'm Jeffrey Baloyi, and then I like my first name. I'm Suela.
Yes.
And then I have about 4 sisters. I'm the last born, and then I'm only the boy. So that's where the name comes from. So hence I like it.
Okay.
So I was born in Limpopo, and then growing up in Hlanganani, and then at the village, born at a village called Makasa, and then growing up also moving to Nkuzana and then growing up there. And then, basically I've lived in Limpopo until I have to then come to Gauteng for high education. And then that's where I started to interact with Gauteng.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did you study? I mean, you are telling us that you've grown up in Limpopo, went to school, then you only came this side for higher education. Please take us through the journey.
All right. I started my primary education at Pemunga Primary School. And then I went to Anyan Kuzane High School. Yeah, that's where I matriculated. So then, basically it was schools in a very deep rural communities where even the drivers we will have to pass every morning, driving taxis, one will look at them very much comfortable. So meaning one will have a dream of one day becoming a taxi driver because what they have, it looks so much comfortable compared to ours. So it was one of those unprivileged schools whereby we have to hit the ground running in everything. So yeah, that's where I've attended my primary education. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Before we get into the gist of the the matter, I just want to appreciate you so much and as well honor you because we don't appreciate excellence so much in a sense that we have a privilege of seeing you leading. That's why I believe that it's an important story to share with others. Already you have touched on the disadvantaged background that you come from. And before we get into it, I just want to let you know how much we appreciate you and we honor the excellence that you always operate in. And we are learning so much. And it's not always that we get to appreciate excellence, but today we just want to say, Chair, we give you your flowers while we still can because we honor excellence. It's a journey that is really, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, excellence is something that not everyone operate in. So we just need to honor that and say we are inspired and we are learning from you. And for that, we just want to say we appreciate you and we honor you and we thank you. And university, where did you go? And take us through the journey.
Yes, no, thank you very much. It's not usual that you have people appreciating you. And also when you are doing good is not something which you can tell that now I'm doing good. Because there's a very thin line between doing good and the bad.
That's true.
And then also being aligned with your plans. Your plans might not be the right plans in terms of what people view it as yourself. You might be proud, but others might view it as something average or something general. So then when I started tertiary education, I have a dream of going to the University of Johannesburg by the time. And then I remember I did applied with one of my very close friend, and then we studied together at the high school, and then yeah. So the at the University of Johannesburg,
Yeah.
unfortunately, they accepted me for radiograph, and then while I wanted to do engineering, chemical engineering, one of the reason was that in the area where I come from, there is no engineer who has graduated. There was one a gentleman who was maybe 2 years older than me. He went to at UJ to do engineering,
You were inspired from
and then
there.
I was inspired by him, but
Yeah.
bit I was disappointed because he has to drop out because of other issues. So that also it's something which I said, let me do engineering. And then it was both me and my friend. And then he went at UJ, did industrial. I was interested in chemical. And then I applied there and also the Val University of Technology. So I ended up going to the Val where I started to do chemical engineering because for me it was an issue around doing the course you like than rather
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
being at a particular university. So then I started with a national diploma as that's a stream which they offered, and then I then continued, and then until I get to the master's degree. Although when I do the master's degree now, I was doing it also being in the industry. So, because one of the great things that as you continue to study, at least you need to do research with things which are aligned with
Your
what the
career.
world demands.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, after that, I then went to the UJ. I think the dream
Your
came
dream
back
came
late,
true.
later, and then I started my PhD at UJ. And then when I started UJ, I then did 1 year at UJ. Then when in that 1 year, and then it happened that with my supervisor, one of them went to vets, and then as he went to vets, and then they align in terms of how far I went with my studies and the research I'm doing, which they made a very strong recommendation that with what I've done and the result and how I'm doing, I can be well fit to go to vets and finish within record time
Indeed.
within those years. So I think I try to inspire them. I try to at least impress them. I mean, with what I've done, and then I then moved from UJ to vets. I mean, for me, vets was not even on my list since I was young
Yeah.
because I've been told the fees are expensive. Vets is this, and if you want two, three, and all this. So there were so many stories which saying like, no, vets
Were
is for,
barriers.
it's for us who are just being ambitious. Maybe those who grow up in these urban areas,
Yeah.
vets is
Yeah.
for them. Us, we just need to work very hard for our kids to go there. But I end up being at vets. For me, it was also great and nice
Yeah.
and believable. And then when I was at vets, and then I did my PhD, I then finished at vets within those years which were remaining record time. And then when I finished at vets, also I think I had about 8 articles which came from my PhD. And then the work itself was also one of the groundbreaking because we looked on the space of renewable energy, we look on the space of water. So it was one of those. And then after that, and then I said, I have a PhD, maybe I could take a break, but I could not take a
Yeah.
break. So I went to study at the University of Pretoria, where I did the master's in project management, and then completed it. And then I went back again to Vets Business School, where I also did leadership and management development program for a year. And then in doing so, and then I also and then registered with the University of South Wales in London, where I'm doing the MBA. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's as cool as concern. Yeah.
When I say we honor excellence, I truly mean it. I'm not saying it for the sake of saying it, but after you have unpacked and explained how far you went with your education and how much you're investing in it, we still say, Chair, we honor you because you operate in excellence. And we still, like, I mean, what more can we do unless we just appreciate excellence? And for that, it makes you a great leader. It makes you a great leader because you are leading by example. When we say you inspire us, we don't only mean it for the sake of saying it. Your journey that you walked, also your deeds, actually, and your academic journey remains an inspiration from a black child. I mean, you already explained that you are from a disadvantaged. It was only a dream just to see yourself as a taxi driver. You mentioned to say the way it was bad, you dreamed of at some point being a taxi driver. That's how bad it was. But the journey that you traveled, you beat all those odds and you came out victorious. And we still want to say, Chair, we are inspired and we honor excellence. Let's get into your leadership journey, Chair. It's
Yes.
quite an impressive one, I would like to say. Not only impressive, but one that builds one character. We are so blessed that we have witnessed you leading a nation, a nation, actually, an institution where it broadened to an extent that we are talking about not only South Africa, but other countries as well, international countries as well. And in your capacity, you were able and you are still leading us. And it's not an easy task, to be honest. I'm speaking from a point where I was just operating from your leadership. And in my vicinity, it was really difficult. And I'm wondering from your space, at a broader space that you are in, how are you coping? And like, just take us through the journey. Take us
Yeah.
through that journey because yeah, no, it's a not everyone would be able to get on the other side victorious. Please take us through the journey of
No,
leadership.
no, thanks, Madam President. I think leadership first, you must be a person who love people.
Yeah, yeah,
You must be a person who's very much resilient in terms of understanding that there are seasons,
yeah,
and then life it's a journey, it's a process, and then
absolutely.
you need to really understand the different stages of where people there are in life and appreciate that without really having to being too judgmental as a leader.
Absolutely.
So the leadership journey, I think from my very early age, when I was at primary school, I think I can say it started there. I'm the person who, as I've said, growing up in that, my sister will give me sweets to go and sell to people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then at a very young age, it builds confidence in you, and you start to like people because these are your clients.
Yeah.
And then everyone treat you in a way that when you are in a business and you're selling, everyone, for lack of better words, everyone treat you as if you are a cheap person
That's
because
true.
you need
That's
to
true.
approach everyone, and everyone can approach you, can access you. So you everyone have that access to you.
That's true.
So then when I went to the university in my first year, I started to get myself involved in issues around leadership because I had the spirit of me trying to help people. So, and then within the engineering department where I was in, and then the colleagues will tell you in the space that we don't have time to breathe, meaning there's no room for leadership there because leadership, like as it is in our country now, is more taken for granted, where we take it as it's a social event,
That's true.
while leadership is a very serious task than all of this profession because
Yeah, yeah.
you deal with the mind of a person and then dealing to solve problems which are not even yours or not even created by yourself. So then I then started to then as a deputy secretary for then chemical engineering student society, and then by then and then also at the same time, and then I also then went to the religious structure which we are affiliated with,
Yes, yes.
and then also becoming a member of the executive there. And then also by that time, on the religious side, for me, it was more about having to pray together and all that, but I was not really much even me in the leadership. I remember it was a friend of mine,
Yeah.
Mr. Tlowatla, who came to me so
Yeah.
many times, said that he has been sent by the leadership for me to come there and then maybe I can assist because there's this and that. And then he was also doing chemical engineer, so I was leading him on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then that's how they get to recommend. Then I went and then became part of the executive. And then within the chemical engineering, I then continue move to the project researcher there, and then call it project coordinator. And then after, I was then elected as the chairperson. And then after, I was also re-elected again as a chairperson in the Faculty of Engineering.
Wow.
So, but I remember there was a lot of calls to come and join the SASCO and all those in terms of leadership, but I could not because there was really no time. I mean, like the
Yeah.
last class will be experiments at 5, and then I then continue like that, and then within the religious structure, and then I was then called by former chair and former SG, and then tried to say, man, we really need you also this side. Can you please come and then join us at the national? And leader said, but myself, I'm too much into the academic
Yeah.
leadership. And then I said in 2012, then I went, then I was elected as a national and then national educational officer, where we did a lot of things. We had so much fun in leadership, assisting people. And then after that, I think I said, no, gentlemen, I'm no longer available. I'm going to do my PhD now.
Yes. Yes.
I'm busy with my master's basically. So I won't really have time. So
Yeah.
I will ask to be excused, but I will be there when I'm needed or when there's something which need us to be part of it. And then fast forward, I then completed my PhD.
Yes.
I think the mistake I did was also to tell them that I'm done
You
at
are
vets.
done. Yes.
And
Yes.
then they came back again to me and said, man, we really need someone to become a chairperson. We thought of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the question came, why me? But I said, no, but we just need that character to come and lead. Yeah. And then I think it took many people by surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like I was at VETS, I was attending even the one of the branch, the structure at VETS, even the chair was not even aware. I used to be close with these guys. They were not even aware because it
Aware.
was
That's
not
true.
something which I said I need to do this, but was something which they said that we really want to. And then I said, no, it's fine if I can be available. But what I won't do is I don't believe in leadership of doing so much in terms of canvassing and doing all that. So
Yeah.
that's why I find
Yeah.
out even those who were close to me, they got shocked.
As to
And
why?
as
How
to
come?
how come, but this man never told
Yeah.
us anything.
Yeah.
And at the end, some people might think maybe you are betraying because you are this quiet. I was with you, and then next you are here.
We hear the great news.
Yeah, we had the great news. So I was then elected, and then I remember I was elected by the majority. So the one of the good thing about this thing, when I was elected first time, I was uncontested.
Yeah.
And then also when I went to vets, there was some constitution which were nominated, but they could not meet the threshold. So I was also then uncontested there. But I think maybe it has to do with a character. I don't know what people see in
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
but it's one of those that people, when you stand up, they feel like they have to give you a chance. But also, as you said, the leadership itself, it's a very critical journey.
It
It's a
is.
very emotional one.
It is.
In leadership, you gain people, you lose people.
That's true.
And then
That's true.
because when you believe on what you can say, you believe what is good for the organization you lead, you are bound to lose so many people. And then at some point, time is one critical thing which I always
Yes.
respect,
Yes.
because time is the one which tells that whether this leader was good or was not good,
That's true.
or the decision which you took when you do things was good, were good or they were not good. And then with time, we tend to see, and then the circumstances of leadership and the environment changes rapidly. So
Yeah.
that's one of the critical things. Today we might be talking this, tomorrow we're talking that,
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
So those who are much into the leadership, they will tell you the dynamics are not always the same,
That's
and
true. That's true.
the atmosphere change when you are in the room. Sometimes you. So it's one of those things that, for me, I think leadership need to be respected.
It is. It is.
I went to one of the meetings. I said when on the background, I said leadership is a difficult thing.
It is.
People have to go and do some degrees, even a PhD, to study leadership, and then
The effort and the sacrifices.
and then this other gentleman attacked me, said to me, no, we have old people even in different churches and everywhere leading without qualification. Hey, you guys with I said, no, it's not about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things are evolving.
That's true.
And
That's
then
true.
they challenge us to think differently. And then issues around leadership are the issues which at some point we take for granted. The government and the country collapse because of lack of proper vision in terms of leadership. We can have all these profession, but they're nothing when we don't really look into how we have to move in terms of how we need to lead people.
That's true.
And then yeah.
You can continue, Chen.
Yeah, and then that's very critical for me. So that's why I always emphasize that it's only very few people who might have a very good character in terms of how to associate with people and manage conflict. But I've seen and led with people who are very impatient, are very much ruthless, are very much in a state that the language which is common now, like I will deal with you, I will deal with this and all that. So the issues around emotional intelligence, there are so many issues which I am of the view that they need to be studied in the broader details, so that we get to understand how critical is leading people, so that we are then appreciate the responsibility which is bestowed within us, and then the trust. Because remember, when people elect you to lead, whether as a president or at whatever capacity, it can be a class rep at school, they trusted you that now you become their father and their mother.
That's true.
You become even their God, their ancestor. So
They trust your leadership.
as we find that the leadership, and then people like to say, no, this is just a cult. It's not like that. It's just that people really trust you. And then when they trust you, they believe that whatever you can say, they can take, and then it's of a good intention. So hence it's very critical, because once you are not in a position to understand why you are elected and why you should lead, it will be very difficult to navigate through a difficult circumstances. For example, we had COVID-19.
That's true.
When we had the COVID-19, we have to think instantly. And when we think, you are not thinking about you and your loved ones as your immediate families and all these siblings and everyone. You are thinking about, how can I make sure that this organization survive this pandemic?
And its operations.
Yes, because many things are collapsing, companies are collapsing. How do we then navigate through this difficult time? And then it tests the character of a person, because emotionally you are drained. You have this thing you are running away from. Everyone is talking about virus. You have so many things you are dealing with at the time. And then it really tested so many organizations. But you have to navigate, and then you make sure that you are out. And then now you talk a language of post-COVID and all that. It's not easy. So hence I emphasize and I strongly believe that the leadership itself, it should not be taken as a common sense, where we just use a common sense. And then when I talk about studying, I'm not saying one should have a degree. Studying is just educating yourself, and then you can read books about leadership. You do so many things. People write books. When you write books, it might not be about leadership. Any manuscript you put down, it trains your mind. It trains your character. It even trains you to be patient.
That's
So
true.
hence, I always tell people that even to be taken through masters and these PhDs, it's not about the qualification, but it's about testing your character.
The
And
process.
then when that character has been tested, you think differently, and then you observe things in a very much different way.
Well, how would you say education? I mean, investing in it because you are leading in a broader space. I mean, national. That's a huge responsibility. And you've spoken about the importance of investing in education, whatever space you are in. It's very important to invest in it just to broaden your perspective. How has that assisted you to lead this nation? I mean, you spoke about the COVID time. You had to think rapidly and see what solutions you can implement just to make sure that the processes and also the operations are intact. So what would you say education has played an important role, and what skills has it given you in a sense ya gore you are able to be advanced and take this community to a greater space?
Now, I think one of the things which we have learned about COVID is that when the change is there,
Yeah,
even if you resist, there's nothing you can do.
that's true.
You just need to adapt very quickly and embrace the change and move forward. Uh, the change I'm talking about, we talk about the era of the fourth industrial revolution.
Absolutely.
The world moved digitally. The world changed to appreciate that you can work anywhere where you want to
You
work.
are, yeah, remotely.
You can have the stations like where we are now doing the podcast. We can change the narrative. We can distract everything. The cycle can be 360. So that's what we have learned, that
Yeah.
nothing is permanent.
That's
Things can change rapidly, and then we have to adapt. And then resistance to say this might affect, this might no. We have learned through COVID that a simple thing like laptops,
yes, yes.
computers, which many big cooperative in the organization were saying that no, we can't buy them, they're expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
People need to work physical, we see them. They were forced to use the budget and buy them and give everyone to work where they are.
Because things have changed.
Because things have changed,
Yeah,
and then you are
yeah.
forced. And then
To
there are
adapt.
two things. If you are not ready to adapt, you'll be forced in a very hard way to adapt.
That's true. That's
So
true.
that's one thing I've learned in this era of COVID, that sometimes when we say the world is moving, the world is taking this direction, when it's time,
Yeah.
not even anyone can stop God's time about changing things.
That's true.
And then that direction we're moving, even the government itself and also everyone was forced to move in a particular direction. And then that's where we are. And that even how we lead, I mean, like we can lead now for even the whole 6 months. People have virtual meetings, have all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then people can do so many things which we have never believed that it's happening. And then also it have also resulted in a very much efficient way and in more sustainable way. You look into it into so many things that we protect the environment in case of us not using papers.
Yes, that's
We
true.
have reduced the print. I can't even remember when last time did I went and print
Yeah.
something. Like I don't even use a printer
That's
anymore.
true. That's how advanced things
Yeah,
are.
I mean, like we do everything online, and then
Yeah,
things have
yeah.
changed now. We're saving the environment. So there are so many things which efficient ways are there. I mean, like the cost of traveling and being in danger, they have been reduced because we do so many things. I mean, like in those days, the podcast were there, but they were not a thing. I mean,
That's
like
true.
now we can reach a broader audience without having to go to some auditorium adverts and call everyone, spend
Everyone.
resources. So those are some of the things that I have learned to say, like to say, like these are the things which in under a normal circumstances,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
social aspect of a human being will definitely resist.
That's true. That's true. And in terms of your leadership and your journey, there were times where sacrifices like were a thing. You had to sometimes maybe leave your family and focus so much on what your people needed. And I'm talking about at that time, before, let's say before COVID, where you had to travel province by province. I mean, you are a leader. People need to see you. You need to be able to be with them, see what is it that they're struggling with. And what would you say that took out from you? And what is it that it built in you? Because it's not easy to sacrifice, but you were so selfless in this whole process. I mean, witnessing from a distance where we would just see you traveling around the world just so that you serve people. How is that important, and how has that built a character? And I mean, what made you so selfless? Maybe give us an insight in that, because as human beings, we are very much selfish and
Yeah,
self-centered.
I think that there are two things.
Yeah, yeah,
First, as I've said from the beginning, the love of the people
yeah, yeah,
and you to see people succeeding. When we define success or the purpose which you fulfilled in life,
yeah,
although many people get short-sighted in terms of defining it in terms of money. I can have R1 million today.
yeah,
I can go and spend it anytime now, and then within a week it's finished. I can bet no one will even remember you as a great person.
no, that's true.
Some might even take you as this is the stupid who even finish R1 million within a week.
Within a week.
So when you check, when you define your purpose in life, it has to surrounding with assisting people,
Yeah,
helping people, seeing people succeeding in all aspects of life. And then that itself, it ignite the character in you to say, when I talk about the family, it's not only the people I'm born with. The family, it's everyone I interact with in the
yeah,
streets, a stranger, anyone who require my help. Let me be there to assist them.
yeah,
So then that itself, it defines the purpose of your living to say, you know what, everyone around me should have an understanding that I'm this kind of a person. In the street language, those who go to the clubs and everything,
yeah.
they will say Rebanaba Starat. So you must define Banaba Starat in your purpose in life,
Yes,
because they
yes.
are doing they are fulfilling their purpose being on the streets. But how do you get yourself on the streets and then sacrificing what is good for the people, what is good for the country?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
remember, if we fail to contribute the little we have in terms of sharing the knowledge and then inspiring other people, we are failing the country, because a broken nation cannot achieve anything.
anything.
So
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons that I will then spend most of my time and then driving sometimes 12 hours, going to different places, and then we get to those places, we interact, we see, we advise where we can advise.
yeah,
So it's all about building. And then and these people, all of them, uh I mean, like now I can walk into the mall.
yeah.
One time I was very, very, very far. I think I was shocked that there's a person who came to me and greeted me and said, "Man, I know you forgot me," and then showed me a picture. And then, no, this is a picture I took. So it's
Yeah,
one of those
yeah,
things that
yeah.
even when you are traveling with people, people get to be surprised,
Mm,
because I cannot count how many people I assisted directly, indirectly, but people will never forget what
forget what you've
you
done
have
for them.
done for them. And then when you look on all those things, you find that it was not even monetary contribution, but it's those few ways and those sacrifices you make, and some you assisted them, and then they get to be somewhere, some with employment and all this. So this is what is happening. So I remember one time
Yeah,
there was a time when there was a guy, I think was a teacher from Eastern Cape.
yeah, yeah.
You referred him to me, and then said he was a Polokwane, and then
Exhausting.
yeah, cousin,
I
yeah.
remember.
So what I did, I mean, I just made a call. I said,
Yeah,
look, I
yeah,
have my brother here, because I all call them my brothers. Even I didn't know the person. I said,
yeah,
I have my
yeah.
brother here. This is the situation. You need a space. And then he went, and then there at TEF now.
He's still in
He's still
Limpopo.
in
He'll be
Limpopo.
watching this. I'll
He's
definitely
still in
make sure
Limpopo,
that
and
he
then he's
does.
working there, and then
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
working there. I mean, like it changed people's life. And then I went to
Mm.
one event at the University of Limpopo. He came to me, and then the other one at
Yeah.
Vets, he came to me and then said, "Do you still remember me?" And I'm like, I pretended. I said, "Yeah, I do. I do." No, I'm the one who made the president sent to you. And then, so it's one of those things that when
Yeah, the
you do
impact
things
you
for
make.
people, you don't do it to say, no, this person who have been sent to me is not my
Yeah,
cousin. It's not what
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
And then I can't. So it's within ourselves that we then not being that selfish, and
Yes,
then we
yes.
assist so many people, and also it brings a hope.
Mm-hmm.
And also the good thing about leadership is that, remember, when you leave legacy in
Yeah.
life, if you happen to die tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
what remains, if you have kids, siblings, and everyone,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not all about what you leave in terms of monetary value.
Monetary value, yes, yes.
Monetary value is very important, but it's not everything.
Everything.
So in one case, the legacy you leave behind, sometimes it's about your character.
That's true. That's
When
true.
you go somewhere and then you say, my mother, my sister is Madam President, I said, no, just come.
Yeah.
And then that just come
It
is not
opened a
because we
door
have
for
done a lot. It's just
yeah.
because we have known your father, we have known your sister,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this character,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're ready to do
To
everything to assist you.
assist, yeah, yeah.
So the mistake we make is that we think when we assist people, we're wasting our time. We're not wasting our time, because assisting people, it's investing and
For the
creating a
future.
wealth which you cannot replace with anything.
Anything.
I mean,
Yeah.
like I always tell people that when it comes to issues about monetary,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
always tell people that to make money is very easy job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because to make money, I can sit in my iPad, start to lie to people, tell them to affiliate to 1, 2, 3, and put money
Yes.
there and there and there and there, and then I grow them money, I give them back their money. So it's
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 very
it's it's one
easy.
of those stupid things, and sometimes it get you in a hot water.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not difficult thing, but building a legacy through your character, it's branding yourself. It takes time. So it's not done overnight. I
That's
cannot
true.
come here, I see you today, and I convince you that
Yeah.
I'm of a good character. It takes time.
It takes
So
time.
it takes time. It takes trust from so many people. I mean, like, even if anything happened
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
someone said it's Madam President 1, 2, 3, when I think I would be like, no, it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
They said it's there, and I went there. I found out it's there, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
something could have happened.
That's true.
She can't do this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it takes time.
Character
And
and
then a
knowing a
character of a
person
person, people can defend you in these big rooms while you are not there. That
because
is
they
not you.
know the truth
Because
of the
they know
matter.
the true character of yourself. So that's why it takes time. And then which is something which I always tell people that we need to protect it.
Mm,
And
mm.
then protecting it is that sometimes if you have nothing to say
Mhm,
positively,
mhm.
you also learn to keep quiet. And then when you keep quiet, nothing can be taken away from you.
From you. That's
But
true.
when you also have a character and leadership of always wanting to say something, and always you'll find that you lose a sense of direction.
That's true. That's
And then
true.
immediately when you lose a sense of direction, you will be all over the place.
Mm,
You will be doing things which you are not supposed to be
to
doing.
be doing.
And then I always tell people that one of the difficult organization to lead is the religious organization,
Yeah, it is.
because the religious organization, it demands a lot from you.
Mm,
And then your character, your behavior everywhere. So even how you do things, it should be different from other organization where
yeah, yeah.
you can just go and then form a caucus and then be against a particular leader, attack and do this. So it get to be very much a challenging and a very difficult one, because it train you. And then that's
Mm.
why in so many organization, it it get to be very difficult for even people to survive for 6 months
For six
in those
months.
positions,
That's
because
true.
when you are there, so much is demanded from inside and outside.
Outside. Speaking to that, Chair,
Mm,
you said basically life is a process. Everything is a process and it takes time. And looking at a generation where everything is about instant gratification. I want to do this just so that tomorrow I'm famous, just so that we lack the vision of longevity to say everything takes time and there's a cost to everything. I think that's something that we are missing and I want us to get into. Today we are here with you, celebrating excellence and honoring you for all that you are because of we have witnessed your journey and some of us couldn't even have the capacity to take the sacrifice or make the sacrifices that you have made. That's why today we say we honor you because it's not everyone who would survive what you have survived and continue to do in the society. And I want to emphasize again to say there is a cost to everything, right? And I want us to dwell into that because we love things that come easy, especially a generation of instant gratification. We think that everything must just come easy. What is the importance of building? And what does it take in terms of, being able to be patient with the process and being able to think of longevity, being able to think of, the future. You're speaking about sometimes as a person, it's not everything that you have to be part of or be able to engage in looking at, because you are able to say, I can't be participating in this. There's a longer vision that compels me to behave in a certain way, to think in a certain way, to conduct myself in a certain way, because I'm not only doing it for the now. There's something that I'm building, something of longevity. So what I want us to take out there is a cost to every. Today we celebrate excellence. What was the cost? And we are speaking of reality because there is a cost to everything. And it's something that most of us are missing.
Yeah, I think you are quite correct. You are quite correct. I mean, like there is a huge cost to everything, and then there are a lot of sacrifices we make, and then we don't go out and cry when we are in leadership.
Yeah.
First, you have people living with very close to you. And then they will be calling every time, when are you coming home, when are you see. So you even take time because we then be in a position that we could not see each other for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then also within that, you try to make everyone, convince them that you are doing the right thing. And the cost is that when the organization you present is not really doing well, or the other issues which are a bit problematic, and then that's where now even your own ones will say, but you say you spend time and sacrifice your time for this. And then it always drains you, because you want to see what you are sacrificing for succeeding. But you need to be resilient in terms of understanding that leadership also, it's more like life. There are seasons. There are seasons where you are cruising nicely. There is a season where it's very windy. The storm is all around you. It cracks you down. And then you even don't want to be on WhatsApp or anything, or to be visible anywhere.
You just want to be alone.
You just want to be alone, and then praying to your God that God, please see me through this. And then also it's a painful period. And then but you have understanding that, okay, this time will pass, and then we'll get to this time. And then also, as I've said, the cost it comes with, you lose a lot of people.
That's true.
Some people today, the trick part about leadership is that today we can be friends. And then when there's a crisis, the emotional intelligence has to kick in.
That's true.
And then how we resolve the challenges in the best interest of the organization you are leading. You can become my enemy. Because not enemy as enemy to Madam President.
But in a sense
enemy
of
in a sense of different views.
Yes.
And then depending on your character, people take it personally. So you end up going to the top, and then you realize that when they said it's very much lonely at the top, now it hit you very hard.
You get to feel the reality now.
You feel the reality because it's only very few people who can just call you and say, I was greeting you, how are you feeling? Just I'm just checking up on you. Are you well?
Sure.
And then is everything fine at home? Everyone when they call you, it's about I have this
Demanding
crisis, I
something.
have this. And then immediately when you cannot agree with them, you can't get a call from them. And then you end up being too lonely. And then when you get to your phone, even when you call some, and then you find that they get to be called in terms of what is it that is looking for. So it's one of those things that you find that when you are in leadership, it get to be very much tricky.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it's a cost which comes with leadership. You might have even heard on the national when some of the leaders was accusing President Ramaphosa to say, I'm WhatsApping you, I'm doing this, you are not even returning my call or not. Because it's lonely. At some point,
It's
you
hectic.
get to the point where you don't even know what to say to this person. You read their message, you blue tick it, you sleep, you are thinking, you wake up, and you say, you know what, let me just keep quiet. So it's one of those things that when you are leading,
Yeah.
it's not an easy thing. It's a cost which comes with that it moves many people away from you. And then you will only remain with a very few people who understand that after all, you're a human being, and then you have to be treated like other human beings as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the cost, you know yourself, you have led many times, you continue leading. You get insulted for no reason.
Very much so.
You get insulted, you get be told that you might be stupid or you are not, one, two, three,
Blatantly.
for
Not
no
even.
reason. For no reason. And then the reality is that you then understand that this thing which is being said is just a lie. And then you have no platform to be defending yourself
There's no
because
time for
there's no
that.
time for that. When you
Already
do that,
the
you lose
narrative is
focus.
out there. Yeah.
Yeah, you lose
Yeah.
focus,
Yeah.
and then when you lose focus, you lose the
The
organization.
That's
And
true.
then
That's true.
so you are much focused on what is positive. So it's the cause which comes with, and then mentally, physically, it drains you. But when you understand the bigger vision and you
Yeah.
understand that there are seasons and this thing is a process, and then you are able to overcome, and then at some point, people might think that maybe you are spending money buying people to be in your favor. It's not
It's
like
not.
that.
That's true.
As
That's
people
true.
need to, they check at a character in terms of how you deal with crisis and all
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So I always tell people that when you are leading and you have never led through a crisis, you have never experienced anything.
You are not
When
tested.
you are not tested, when we talk about the true test of a character,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's when things start to be said about you, which some of them you can just read it on the whatever social media about you,
Platform.
and
Yeah.
then people say things in different platforms, and then you are not even aware of, and then you get to that stage, someone calls, hey man, have you done one, two, three, man? I heard someone saying one, two, three
One, two, three.
about you, and then like, okay, that's fine. Then you get used to those things, and then at the end, you are like, you know what? I really don't care much
About. Yeah.
about, but that's what we always say. But it's not a true. It's not true as it's partial correct because
Yeah.
you always do a self introspection. I'm that bad,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you are here sitting alone. Sometimes, yeah, you are thinking maybe I'm this too bad.
So that's the cost, having to reflect, question yourself. So even if you don't have focus, you'll definitely lose it all because you will
Exactly.
believe
So
what people say, and yeah.
exactly, that's why you find that the most people who are depressed in a society are the people who are helping people. And that's the unfortunate part about it because of what this thing I'm saying, a simple thing like taking a call without having to ask for anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
checking them how they are feeling, and then everything. I mean, like these people now, they even get time to be called for a vacation with friends, like friends saying, like, let's now go to this place for vacation, let's go to relax and one, two, three. Because it's not because they don't want.
Yeah.
At some
Yeah.
point, the positions and everything keeps them away, and then they think that no, this guy is very busy, cannot be one, two, three. So those are the small things which you find that it makes things really tough, and then it cost you as a person.
That's
So you might not lose anything materialism, but you lose a lot in terms of your emotions.
emotional. Yeah,
Hence, we always say that leaders, they need to be prayed for,
absolutely.
because the thing is that even themselves, they
They go
get
through.
frustrated, and then
Yeah,
they even find
yeah.
it difficult to pray.
Mhm,
That's why you
mhm,
find that
mhm.
even at a different organization, people who quit are the most powerful people never that you think
You
that they
never thought
quit.
they would.
And
Yeah,
then like,
yeah.
yeah, but so and so they said they have resigned. Why?
Why?
No, man, it can't be. Because it's one of these things that you sit in a dark room,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one is really ready to listen, and then you say like, you know what? Um, this is what I have to do.
But we don't stop, Che. We don't stop in a sense that we understand all the challenges, the turmoils. What would you say to a young man out there? We've learned about the both sides, the good sides, and also the cost that the leadership comes with. They are passionate about serving people. What message would you say out there? You are leading at a national level, and to some extent, let's say international. We cannot say national. It's an
Yeah.
international level, and we have a young generation who are passionate about leading, and we have shared the realistic experiences of leadership. What message would you say to them as as a way of encouraging them to be courageous enough, or no matter the circumstances, they must be able to, be those characters, or no matter what, if I have agreed to do this, let me allow myself to go through all the season without having to give up in the process. So what kind of a message would you like to share with them, and to encourage them to say there's nothing different? It's all this season are happening in life. You said life is a season, they are happening. Whether you are smart enough or you are equipped, there'll always be challenges. What message would you like to leave with them, to help them to go through this journey, understanding that life is a season?
Yeah, I would like to say to them that winners never quit.
Indeed.
When you quit, you'll never get succeed in anything, in all aspects of life.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when you are not quitting, does not mean that the journey does not have the back and forth.
Yeah, yeah.
The journey is smooth. Does not mean that. When you think you have made strive, you have moved 4 steps forward, something comes and hit, and then you are 10 steps back. You have to go and redo the same thing. So the leadership itself, it tests your character.
Yeah.
But again, to make sure that you succeed with whatever character you have, you first need to align yourself and understand the vision of the organization you are leading. What is it aimed to achieve? What are the strategic objectives which have been put in place? Once you accept the leadership responsibility, it's not just a ceremonial thing to say, I just want to be known that I was 1, 2, 3, or I'm 1, 2, 3. You need to first study the organization you are about to accept the responsibility to lead it. Once you understand the organization, you won't have a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
But the gaps in terms of understanding the organization, its succession plan, where it should be moving, and where it comes from, and appreciating everyone who have contributed positively to
To
it.
that, absolutely.
If you can't do that, you are bound to fail. And then because you are going to be frustrated by the organization telling you that you are leading me, I want you to move me to this direction. Because leading the organization is leading the legacy. It's more like being left with inheritance, which you have to carry forward. It's a relay race, and then you have to pass the baton to someone.
Someone that's
So the difficult job is that, are you going to pass the baton at the right time when you find that the organization has not collapsed? That's a very difficult challenge, because that's what we aim for. So any leader who lead an organization, they just need to know that they have time which has been allocated to them to lead. Then what they need to strive for is that they should at least not allow anything which they are leading to die in their own hands. and then leading it to someone else to take it. So when you have that understanding, you will then have to be very much decisively in terms of making sure that whoever want to come with anything which it poses a danger to harm the organization,
Yeah.
you are in a position to protect it. Hence, I said that these leaders, they should understand that you have to lose yourself to protect the organization.
Yeah.
And then you have to lose yourself in a sense that you have to lose people to make sure that the organization is protected.
Absolutely.
And then it's not all about yourself, it's about the organization. So if you have this understanding,
Yeah.
it will be very difficult for you to quit. Because when you quit, it's the misalignment in terms of the organization and who you should talk to. That's very important. That's why I always tell people that you can talk to anyone,
Yeah. Yeah.
but there are very most important people to talk to. So when you talk to the right people, that's where now you will never lose a focus, you will never lose a vision in terms of where the organization should go, and then you'll never quit. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't believe in quitting.
That's true. So you are leading the organization of young people, ambitious, visionaries, and yes, so we are, I believe that we are the generation of problem solvers, and we're creating strong institutions to make sure that those who were before us and those who are coming after us are able to thrive because of what we have created. You are a forerunner in a space of leadership for us. You've done this. You are doing it. That is why today we are honoring you and also giving you your flowers. So what is it that you would like to say to problem solvers out there? Because you are leading a broader community with a lot of creative people, to problem solvers out there, because that's what we are building. What would you like to say to them? What skills do they need to equip themselves with to make sure that they thrive in their journey?
I think the issue around the character and then the love of the people, I'll emphasize on it too much.
Okay.
And then the leaders out there is just an issue of understanding that you then have a purpose which you need to fulfill. And then this purpose has to do with you loving the people you are leading.
Yeah.
And then it has to do with you that to make sure that that organization achieved everything it should achieve.
Yeah.
And then it has to do with you to make sure that you equip yourself with a necessary training to make sure that you are capable to deliver to the expectations of that particular organization. I mean, hence many organizations will have the workshops and so many things.
Yeah.
And then as a leader, you should also have a pure understanding that a leader must read. So it gets to be very difficult to lead people, especially when you are leading the young people who are educated.
Absolutely.
These are not the people who you'll just say,
convinced with any theory.
yeah, you say to them that, no, you see, in this community, tomorrow you'll have water.
Yeah.
These guys, they will ask you like
Proper questions.
proper question, like where is that there in the municipal plan?
Yeah.
Have you done the consultation with us? Where is the infrastructure to deliver that water?
Yeah.
Where? So they will ask you that the dam is dry, and where are you going to get water?
Yeah.
And then so it's not like where you'll go in the villages where we grow up, and then convince everyone that you will have a train by tomorrow. Yeah. So these are very difficult characters to deal with. You need to be very much aware of the current affairs.
Yeah.
You need to be very much aware about the legal framework and the policies. You need to be very much aware about the politics of the country. Because you go to this meeting, you tell them something, you say, no, the Popia Act is saying 1, 2, 3.
So
I want to record the meeting. Say, no, you can't record the meeting because you feel like doing so. This is the act. Can we read for you? So you need to
consider so many things.
Exactly. So you need to read and understand that you are not just leading a normal average people. You are leading the future leaders of tomorrow. And the good thing about leadership, which I always tell people and I appreciate, is that when you are leading, does not mean that you are the most smartest person in the room. or very intelligent.
Yeah, yeah.
A leader is to leverage on the skills and the intelligence in terms of the people who are intelligent in the room, and understanding that when I have Madam President here, I know when it comes to this, she's much better than me. Let me allow her to give her space to do something. So hence you find that wherever I've led,
Yeah.
people have always questioned in terms of why do you want to have so many people leading with you? It's because at the end, I believe that when you have, we have different skills,
Skills. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we need to appreciate everyone's skills. And then if now I think like as an engineer, I'm better than a medical doctor, that's where you are losing it,
It.
because we are doing two different way things, and all of us were important. The social worker is very important,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
everyone is very important. You'll appreciate how important is
Every
the psychologist
expertise. Yeah. Yeah.
when you are the president of the republic, and then you are stressed, and then this psychologist sitting with you and asking you the question, you might say it's a stupid question, and you realize that basically
It's very much
this is very important.
important.
So hence we need to appreciate that each and every profession is important. Everyone is important.
Their
So
contributions
once
as
we
well.
appreciate that, and then we'll be able as leaders to have the right skills and give them a platform to lead. And the good thing about leadership is that when the good is done behind the scene,
Yeah.
people see you as a leader, that you are doing good. But they don't really understand
It's the
that
community,
is
the
the community doing
team.
good.
Yeah.
You yourself, you are just driving, and then making sure that the organization is moving to the right direction. So those are some of the things that I can say that
They're very much
they are very
important.
much important. But for us, it's just to drive. People are doing everything. So there's no organization without those you are leading. Because if you think of the organization as yourself
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
few allies which you are with and leading with, then you are not thinking straight about what the organization is.
So thank you very much, Chair. The time is up, and we truly want to appreciate your excellence and, offering us time to teach us to continue to broaden our perspectives in terms of leadership. I mean, this is the first-hand information. We have seen you leading. We continue to see you leading. And we just want to say thank you very much. We appreciate and still honor your excellence. You inspire us. May you continue to be a great figure in the nation, because the journey that you have walked and you continue to do remains a great legacy and also inspire us to be excellent. So I want to say, Chair, thank you very much for honoring us and honoring us with your presence here in conversation with Madam President.
No, you're welcome, Madam President. And then I'll also appreciate and thank you for this opportunity, and also to the viewers who might be watching this,
Yeah, yeah.
that it's much appreciated. I mean, like we get very few platforms to have an opportunity to have this kind of interaction.
That's true.
And this is one of the good platform where when we have time and then we get you invited with different guests, and then it's offering a perspective which is very good for the broader audience.
Yeah.
Because we cannot really have to rely on one narrative in terms of having those maybe with muscles to be
Yeah.
broadcasting things, and not really having to touch on different aspects with our own people, which people can relate to.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think this it's a very good opportunity, and may the God bless you and continue to be with you in this journey.
Thank you very much.
I
Yeah.
really appreciate the platform, and then I hope the platform will keep moving from strength to strength.
Indeed, indeed.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your time. And from me to you, until next time, thank you very much, Ria Leboga.